We'll be taking your calls. No Premier League sides in the Champions League or Europa League semis. Are our sides overrated? 03717223344. Plus, we want your voice notes proving that your city is the funniest in the UK. Send one to 03717223344 with where you are from and your best joke. I've got a lot of texts already, and one that's tickled us. We don't know where it's from. That's the whole idea, is to say which city you're from. But why do scuba divers fall backwards off a boat? If they fell forward, they'd still be on the boat. And that tickled us both, really, didn't it?
It's downright stupid, but it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And we're both getting a row because my good mate Warren's been on Belfast. A lot of humour in Belfast as well. That deserves a mention.
Yeah.
Probably slightly before Gloucester.
We'll put it above Gloucester in the list. Let's move on. Maybe no English sides left in the Champions League, but two of the nation's best players go head-to-head tonight.
If we want to have a chance to win, there is no other way than 100%.
Kane has scored and Bayern have turned it around. They lead.
Every player, every club want to win trophies, and that's the ultimate goal every season.
They've got a chance. It was a very up and down season, as you said, but they still have the chance to win a big one.
And Real Madrid win the quarter-final and knock out Manchester City on penalties.
We are not focused only on one aspect of the game. We have to be focused on all the aspects.
The goal has been coming and Jude Bellingham provides it.
You know, we're Real Madrid. We're a pretty good team ourselves. We've got some brilliant players and we trust in the abilities that we've got in the room.
These are the nights that will forever be recalled.
Jude Bellingham's Real Madrid travel to Harry Kane's Bayern Munich in the first Champions League semi-final tonight. It's live, of course, on talkSPORT. Kane looking for his first major trophy as a player, while Jude is hoping to add to the German Cup he won with Dortmund 3 years ago. European football expert Andy Brassel was on the Trans-Euro Express, which is on every Sunday night, and said Kane's move to Bayern was always about games like this.
What Bayern are about, they're about this moment. And the reason he came to Munich is not to be top scorer in the Bundesliga. I don't think it was even to win the Bundesliga, despite people saying, oh, Spurs, trophy duck, etc. I don't think any of that really mattered to him. I think he wanted to put himself in the position, having not played that much Champions League football with Spurs, to put himself in the position to challenge for the Champions League year after year after year in the prime of his career. And in terms of that, even if a lot of other stuff has gone wrong at Bayern Munich this season, Kane's move has been utterly vindicated.
Well, 42 goals this season will tell you it's definitely been vindicated. Look, he's not in the first flush of youth anymore, which Jude Bellingham still is. Yeah. So, in some senses, this is more precious, isn't it, for Harry Kane? Yeah. He's going to win something during his career.
Yeah, for that reason, mainly. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's been well documented that everybody thought that Harry Kane was leaving Tottenham to go and win things. And the irony of him going to Germany and Munich and not winning the title, their first, I think it's the first, is it 10, 11 that they haven't won it. So the irony will be there with people, despite the fact that he has had a magnificent season and more than done his part with the amount of goals he scored. So in that respect, yes, it probably is slightly more important to Harry Kane, because I think you and I, if we were sitting having a chat about it, we all see Jude Bellingham going on to win numerous things in a career which we all think and hope will be, you know, fantastic. Harry Kane is older, and there'll always be a question mark until he gets over that first hurdle.
I mean, look, this is a game that's got a fantastic sort of aura around it. Two of the European greats, no question, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. I mean, Bayern still haven't appointed a replacement for Thomas Tuchel. What do they do if Tuchel wins the Champions League? Do they reverse their original decision and stand by him?
No, I don't think they will. I genuinely don't think they will.
Well, if not, he's going to have a lot of takers, isn't he?
That's my point. I actually think he's at the stage now, he's resigned to the fact he's leaving as much as anything, and he will have a lot of takers because he's a good coach and he's a good manager. That's the first thing you've got to say. And And it would not be the biggest shock on the planet if they did go on and win the trophy. It's feasible, but I just don't think there's any way back. I mean, it's happened before, and it will, and it can happen. But I just don't think there's any way back. I think both parties are resigned to the fact that he's leaving, and they were looking for a new manager. But he'll be given all the support that he can to go and win this Champions League. I mean, I thought the game against Arsenal, or the games against Arsenal, Jeff, I didn't think there was anything between the sides the first three halves, if you know what I mean, of the two games. And then in the final quarter, if you like, the second half of the second game, I thought Munich with the better side and scored the header when Arsenal boys switched off at the back and Kimmich came in and scored the header. And that was, you speak about teams, and I spoke earlier about Real Madrid knowing and just finding a way. They've got different ways to go and win games, and it's unusual for them to win the game against, or go through the tie against Manchester City the way they did, in terms of sitting back, defending, but that's what they've got, and their arsenal and their capability. And I think Munich have got that as well. There's just a vast experience in how to go over the line.
It's interesting as well that Real, first of all, their game against Sociedad was scheduled for Friday, but they still rested Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. and Camavinga and Rudiger, and a host of other players as well. No English sides in the semi-finals of the Champions League. It's a one-off, isn't it? There could easily have been two teams in the semi-finals.
Well, it's disappointing, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's a savage blow. But you get to that level, it's such a thin line. It really is a thin line. Manchester City, I thought, were a little bit unlucky to get knocked out, or you could argue a big bit unlucky. Arsenal, I thought Arsenal played well. I really do. And I think from Arsenal's point of view, there has been, I don't care what anybody says, there has been continued improvement in that squad and in that team. So from their point of view, they'll just look to continue to improve. But from City's point of view, it was a massive disappointment. Obviously winning it for the first time with Rodrigo, and then looking back, it was an ideal. I fancied them to go the whole way again, but clearly when you get to this stage, it's a really thin line, and MD can win. In fact, Dortmund, I mean, you talk about teams with experience. Dortmund are another team that have won it. Okay, not to the same level as indeed Munich and Real Madrid, but that performance they put in against Atletico Madrid at home, it was just a super efficient performance and belief. And that is a tie. PSG, it's another tie. PSG will start favourites in that one. But would it be the biggest surprise if Dortmund beat them?
No, because PSG always flatter to deceive. They always seem to fall at the final hurdle or the second from final hurdle.
But see the game, fun enough to get the game tonight, which we're all really looking forward to. Two players in that Munich side that really impressed me with the two holders, Leimer and Goretzka, who sat, I thought they were outstanding over the both games, and the kind of lads that go through their work relatively unnoticed unless you play with them. Those type, you really appreciate, how they as teammates, you really appreciate them. And obviously another man I thought was outstanding, was Leroy Sané, who I thought really troubled Arsenal in that left back position.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.